Let me be very clear on what I'm about to say about Steve Kerr. I think the comments that Steve Kerr made about not playing NBA champion Jayson Tatum, I believe it's a joke. I believe it's ridiculous. I believe it is just mind blowing to me that an Olympic coach could not find minutes for an NBA champion caliber player like Jayson Tatum. You mean to tell me you couldn't find 5 minutes within that game? It was a blowout at that. But at the end of the day, Jayson Tatum is valuable. Now, me personally, I believe that Jaylen Brown is better than Jayson Tatum. I feel that Jaylen Brown should have been on that Olympic team. But that's another conversation I'm going to have on another episode of my podcast. But let's be very clear here. There is no way that I believe not even one word of what Steve Kerr has said. He made excuses. Instead of owning up and take accountability, you know what? It was a dumb decision on my part. And some people like Brian Whithurst and other people were saying that, Coach Steve Kerr has, a great basketball mind. He has Coach Spoelstra, he has Ty Lue, he has other coaches there. And look at the results. I don't give a rat's butt about the results. When you have an NBA champion and a caliber player that is versatile like Jayson Tatum, you have an obligation not only to this country, not only to the Olympic Committee, not only to you as a great basketball mind, Steve Kerr, is to find minutes to put Jayson Tatum in. When I was watching that game against Serbia, man, and I'm looking and I see Jayson Tatum is just sitting on the bench. And I'm sitting here like, he has to be hurt. So I didn't really think much of it. And I said, he's hurt. He's hurt. So that's the reason why he's not playing. Then when there was questions asked to Jayson Tatum, is the reason that you didn't play versus Serbia was you hurt? And he said, no, I was not hurt. So then the onus goes back to Steve Kerr. You're looking at him like, Steve Kerr, what are we doing? What are we doing, Steve Kerr? What are we doing as a coach? And you mean to tell me because of matchups, and then you had the audacity to come out your mouth and say that Serbia, and we only have 40 minutes, and Serbia runs like three bigs, right? And with three bigs, we want to make sure we have matchups. And, Kevin Durant was coming back to play, and, he knew that, I cannot spread the minutes around because we only have 40 minutes. It's not a 48-minute game. It's a 40-minute game. That is a bunch of crock. That is a bunch of crap that's coming out a man's mouth that does not make sense. Just like it sounded when Grant Hill was giving his sorry behind excuse for the reason why Jaylen Brown is not on the Olympic team, the reason why Jaylen Brown didn't get picked to be on the Olympic team. But that's another episode. We're gonna get into that. But for Steve Kerr to not find a way, you have an obligation, Steve Kerr. Jayson Tatum is no scrub. Let's be very clear. Now, I'm going to hold my position. I believe that Jaylen Brown is better than Jayson Tatum. I believe that you should have had Jaylen Brown on that team as well. And if I had to pick and choose which one that I would pick for the Olympic team and which one I would not, I'm going to pick Jaylen Brown, and I'm not going to pick Jayson Tatum. That's just point blank, period. But if we're talking about now he's on the roster, you have to find a way to put Jayson Tatum in. Then people want to say that White, he had plus 15, so he was productive on the basketball court. Listen, no disrespect to White. I believe basketball players like White are very important to a team. They are role players. They know their role. They do things that are very important on the basketball court, in the basketball game. But let me be very clear. White is no Jayson Tatum. Let me say that again. White is no Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum can defend somewhat. Jayson Tatum can hit jump shots. Jayson Tatum can cause issues because of his size. Come on, man. What are we doing at this point? What are we doing, Steve Kerr? Now, let me tell you this. I guarantee come next game, he's going to find a way to play Jayson Tatum. I guarantee you this because of so many people that are talking about this. But let me just tell you from a basketball mind perspective, there is no way you cannot find a way for Jayson Tatum to play in that game. And the excuse that you gave did not make any sense. You would have been better off by being straight up and being like, you know what? I messed up. There's no way I should have not played Jayson Tatum in this game against Serbia. What he brings to this basketball team is very vital. It's important. Put the blame on me as the coach. But when you start making excuses, and because of Kevin Durant, as you say, was coming back on that team, is the reason why you couldn't really have any minutes for Jayson Tatum. That's a load of crap. That's a load of crap. That's a load of crap, and you need to be called out for it like you have been called out for it, and you need to do better as a coach because let me tell you this, moving forward, you're going to possibly need Jayson Tatum because it's not a lock-in that y'all going to win the gold. Now, I believe y'all are one of the favorites, but it's not a lock-in. Let me be very clear here, and you need to make sure you have all players on deck to contribute to win gold during these Olympics. Y'all let me know in y'all comments. Make sure that you go ahead and like this podcast episode. And I want to hear from all my subscribers, all my followers. Y'all let me know what you think about Steve Kerr's decision on not playing Jayson Tatum.